Hi, and welcome to this short introduction video or preview, if you will, of the Meta Magick Scrying course. So I'll just say a bit about what I do and who I am and what you can expect to learn. So my name is Peter Duchemin. I am a doctor of magic, if you'd like to say so. I have a PhD in philosophy, religious studies, and sociology. And I've studied magic as a practitioner and as a scholar. And I have approached it from a way that might be somewhat different than you're used to, because what I'm really doing is treating magic as if it is the force of art affecting the world as it unfolds in time. And what do I mean by that? I mean, the creative impulse has a pressure that it exerts upon how time unfolds. So if you think about what a magical spell is, a magical spell is art bringing about a certain outcome through creating a resonance with it. And so this is the fundamental core of my philosophy, which I call meta magic, which includes traditional magic, but takes it from a slightly different perspective, one which is informed by the philosophical approaches I studied in academia, as well as my personal practices. And so what are we going to do? We are going to make art that is designed in such a way as to operate as filters for our unconscious to parse reality. Now, this isn't just a psychological approach. This isn't just us sort of operating on our unconscious so that we selectively filter out things that corroborate our belief in magic. It's based on the understanding that the unconscious isn't in us. It is a whole domain of the world which ultimately wraps around and envelops us as well. And this is something that mages are starting to discover. And this is an insight, of course, that the chaos magicians have had for a long time. But the idea that what we do in the deep realms of our psyche ultimately opens up into a real world which has real effects. And when we create with a mode of intensity and meditation, we are changing how we relate to that deep world. And when we change that, and when we make it coherent and make it harmonious and bring a certain kind of, I want to say, musical order to it, then our aura, if you want, or our magical fields will start to affect what we experience. And of course, you can expect this in the form of synchronicities and visions, and an increase in your capacity to understand and to synthesize knowledge and wisdom. So, what are we going to be doing in this course? We are going to be scrying mathemagical objects. This is my term for objects like magic squares, circles, stars, and other shapes that have a set of numbers that are ultimately arranged in some kind of array where the horizontals, verticals, diagonals, or other pertinent sets all total a magic sum. And these have been regarded as magic going all the way back, because they showcase a kind of unusual optimal harmony for a set of patterns. And if you can imagine taking that optimized harmony and installing it in the basic fundamental constitution of your deep psyche, as in where it interfaces with this kind of collective unconscious world, this is what we're doing. This is what metamagic fields are. So we're going to be studying these magic squares and other figures, but we're not just looking at them from an intellectual point of view. We will be creating art that is hosted on these objects, and we're going to be making several different pieces, all of which assemble into one system. And this is a kind of multi-layered assemblage of metamagic fields. And when we scry them, we get into a mindset where we go in and we perceive sounds, maybe smells, perhaps visions. There's an almost synesthetic quality to scrying. And in the course, we work our way up to it from smaller projects to gradually more and more elaborate projects. It's a deceptively short course. It's got seven classes in it. There's quite a bit in there. There's quite a bit of work to do, and the product, the outcome, is a set of scried artworks, and I'll show you an example. This is one of them. This is you can see that this is a hexagrammatic hexagonal array of 19 cells, and this is a magical array, and it's got scryings which are different on both sides. So this is something that we do. We'll go in, and there's supporting audio that you can go in, and it will guide you through these cells, and we'll have a vision or an encounter, and very quickly jot down or draw what you see. And this doesn't have to be amazingly detailed. This can be short 1, 2, 3 lines, or a sigil, or something to help you anchor your conscious and unconscious in this cell. And you can see what happens is this dry framework, which is made of number, will become laden with imagery and dreamlike symbols, which act as a dialogue between your conscious and your unconscious. So you can study these as a study in your own in inner wisdom. And you can see here's another one. This is a 9-celled one. These are envelopes. So envelopes play quite a role. And there's a whole bunch of things. It all packs actually into this at the end of the day. I don't want to spoil too much of it, but there's all these different projects. So you've got hexagrams, you've got pentagrams, you've got all sorts of other things. Of course, a circle and a square. And the ultimate goal is to come out with a, where are we? Ooh, here's some squares and circles. The famous Sator square, Sator arepo tenet opera rotas. All of this stuff we're going to be studying, and you're going to be building these meta magic artworks. And in the process, your unconscious, your deep psyche will start to manifest these overlapping and interconnected fields, these meta magic fields. Another thing you might consider bringing into the course is a Rubik's Cube. In fact, you are going to need one if you take this course. And don't be intimidated by the Rubik's Cube. The Rubik's Cube is an incredible magical object that has been hiding in plain sight, as many magical objects have, all through the 20th century since its invention. And I'm going to show you how to enchant a Rubik's Cube and use it for a very powerful type of meditation that involves transforming or solving obstacles that impinge upon your wholeness or your magical space. So really, the outcome of this is learning a new type of magic, a meta magic, getting familiar with many different mathematical objects, and of course, playing with these magic squares and building this temple. So you'll get an idea of how to scry. You'll get an idea of how magic is capable of conditioning the way time emerges. And it's not necessarily what you think it is. The rules are there to support a creative practice, but the rules can be changed and bent, and they can evolve. So if you're an open-minded, thinker, philosopher, artist, or magician who wants to try something that's new and that is different from perhaps what the traditional schools are teaching, but at the same time is compatible with older magical systems and so forth, this might be a course that has something to offer for you. So there's a lot of support, there's groups, you can ask me questions, and of course you can work your way through the videos on your own time. I suspect it will take between 10 to 20 weeks to do a really solid, thorough job of it. There's a practice at the end that takes a full month to complete, and that will be the seal of this initiation into meta magic. So if you would like to have that and you'd like to experience this approach, then this is the course for you. All right. Be well.